Hello, Jen here with a layout for Tuesday's inspiration. This week's inspiration, which is actually from 2 weeks ago, was given to us by Lynda, and it's popping up on the screen right here in 1 second, but it is this great graphic that, look at that, it's like all the travel imagery that you could ever think of. Cameras and sun hats and a suitcase and all the stuff you're cramming into your suitcase, and I just thought it was really fun and a good inspiration for me to pull out my travel albums. I have several of them still on the go, and I've taken you on this journey with me. You can go back many years through my channel and find the layouts that I'm going to show you here. Most of them are process videos on my channel, so all of this has been documented, and it's a long process. I have to admit, when you create and you film everything that you create, it takes time to finish things, and projects often get started and then kind of don't fully get finished because you're moving on to the next project to kind of keep up with what's happening in the YouTube world or with design teams and that kind of thing. Sometimes you can make the project work with the obligations you have, and sometimes you can't. This one was in Creative Scrapbooker magazine, actually, so that was kind of fun. Lots of these have actually been in Creative Scrapbooker magazine, but I have kind of taken you on this journey. So if you're curious about any of these layouts, you can leave me a comment down below. I can go and find the link and post it for you. Or if you have questions, let me know. But I thought I would kind of take you back through, reminisce, take a look back at the layouts that I've done so far in my 2017 Canada trip album. So this was a road trip we did because it was the 150th anniversary of Canada, but also it was to celebrate our middle boy's adoption being finalized, and it was my grandma's birthday. So we were headed back home, which for us is across the country. We were headed that way anyways, so we thought, let's make a big thing out of it. We took 7 weeks and away we went. So it was definitely a big trip. That year, my kids visited every province in Canada, which means the only places they haven't been so far is the territories. So yeah, it was so much fun. We could probably live on the road, honestly. We're definitely the kind of people who could sell our house and everything we own and hop in our van and just travel endlessly. My kids are really good travelers and really good homeschoolers, so they would be okay with that. And they also love, just talking to people and meeting people and stuff, so they don't often talk about being too lonely. But yeah, maybe one day if we win the lottery, we could do that. But it was a really awesome trip, and obviously I wanted to take you guys on that trip with me. Oh, that layout, yeah. So you'll notice a few things. I have a lot of pocket pages because this was such a big trip. I have pocket pages of all different sizes because I figured, why not? I'm going to throw in everything I have. I didn't want to go out and start spending a bajillion dollars trying to put these albums together. I knew I was going to take a lot of pictures. That's a given. But, I didn't need to spend a substantial amount of money for 7 weeks worth of travel and then also come home and spend a substantial amount of money to document it all. So I used what I had. I pulled page protectors from, all different places. A lot of these with the white strip, those are actually just dollar store page protectors because I was getting to the point where I was running out of the good ones, and I just wanted to have the album put together. And then my thought is, you know, you often run into those sales where you end up being able to get a bunch of page protectors for kind of cheap. I will do that. And as I collect better ones, I can swap them out. But all of the pocket pages are good ones at least. But yes, all different sizes. I used a few different collections, but primarily I used the Photo Play Canada collection. That's where all of the little 4x3 cards came from that have the different provinces on them. I also used Creative Memories. There were Creative Memories stamps. You've seen them in subsequent videos as well. And actually one coming up tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, it'll be next week, I think. But yes, I used little stamps from Creative Memories. There's one for each province. I used a lot of Wild Whisper, and I used a lot of Simple Stories because they all kind of had travel collections at this time. So this was almost 10 years ago. And so, yeah, I just grabbed a bunch of stuff and then a big mishmash of things in between, right? Because I was using my stash, I was using my supplies. So I used what I had. It also makes it nice that everything isn't entirely matching and cohesive. I think that aesthetically that looks really lovely when an album has everything matching and you use one collection, but there are so many pages in these two albums, and I'm probably going to have to spill this into a third album because I think when I get embellishments and stuff put onto some of these pages that aren't finished yet, it just makes it so chunky that it's going to need a third album. So when you have so many pages, I like that it's not all the same collection. So you can see here that page is a lot of 49 and Market, but you probably are recognizing some Paige Evans and definitely like several different collections from Wild Whisper because it was, you know, all design teamwork. Creative Memories, some Stampin' Up, some just all kinds of stuff going on in there. So yeah, lots of different pages, lots of 2-page spreads like these. All the ones that I share with you that are 2 pages, those were all for Stretch the Sketch. So you know, I was able to combine a lot of this layout might be one of my favorite layouts I ever made. I don't know why. There's just something about that layout and how well it came together that I love. But yes, you are going to be able to see a lot of these layouts for different series, different design teams and stuff like that. So definitely, if you have a question, I am flipping through a little bit fast because I sped this up 2 times just so that this didn't end up being a, you know, like an hour-long video. But if you have questions, let me know. I can explain some of the layouts in more detail, or again, find the links so that you can find where they are. But yeah, this was just kind of fun to flip through and show you. And I do get a lot of questions because I often bring these albums with me when I go to crops and things like that because people like to see my work in real life. It's, I guess, a thing when you do YouTube videos that sometimes people like to see the actual layouts and get an idea of what they look like in real life. And so I tend to bring this one because there are so many different examples and different types of layouts. And one thing I get asked a lot is on pages like this one, this is a perfect example, where it is just filled with pictures. Will I go back in and add any embellishments? And honestly, by the time I get done such a big project like this, I often don't. But one other thing that you will notice here, and I've sort of pointed it out when it comes up, there are some places where I don't have a photo tucked in on the back of a full 12 by 12 layout. there's nothing to indicate that there should be, like this spot there, there's nothing really to indicate that there should be another layout there. I have these photos that I'll show you. I could use those and pop those in and make a layout with the two of them, or I could turn that into a whole other page protector. And what I like to do with some of those empty spaces and then other spots where you see no photos in the pockets, I will go back in and find, fun little cards maybe that have, quotes or things that are travel quotes, stuff that, when you kind of collect some of that memorabilia, you collect different product and ephemera, and you just like the quote and it's not necessarily something that you would want to cover up. I leave little spaces for those types of things, so there's lots of opportunity for me to do that. But also those spaces can definitely be filled up with a lot of journaling. So if I have a full page of pockets, I may not go back and add a bunch of embellishments, but somewhere I will make up for that by having maybe like a full 12 by 12 page of journaling and add fun extra little embellishments and stuff on that page. Die cuts that I don't know where else to put them, but they're really fun and they, are pertinent to the theme of the layout or the theme of the album or whatever it is, the theme of the journaling. I do go back and fill those spaces in, but I don't. Oh, Luna's going to make a bunch of noise right now. Hold on one second. Okay, and we're back. I don't really feel the need to fill every space with a photo and have embellishments and tons of extra details and titles and all that kind of stuff, and journaling on every little photo, every, space that's in there. So it helps to keep the album from getting too super chunky, but it also helps with time when you just don't have the time. And right now I don't. Maybe, when all of my kids are grown and out of the house and I'm not working 2 full-time jobs and all that kind of stuff, maybe I will have more time and I can kind of change what I do. But for now, I don't. I'll leave, a full page of just pockets filled with photos and no journaling or embellishments or anything like that. The other thing that you may have noticed, I kind of pointed it out, but I'm explaining more stuff and being much more wordy than the time allowed for the flip through. But if I have only pockets that are the wrong orientation for my photos, because I don't plan my photos out. This is a trip where there's no way I would have been able to pre-plan taking pictures to try to put them into albums in certain ways. I'm not going to do that. I will, pick pocket pages in different styles so that I can have some landscape and some portrait photos and kind of mix them all up. But if I have a photo that kind of goes with that general page and I don't want to flip through to find a space for it to be in the right orientation, I just pick a pocket and stick it in, even if it's in the wrong orientation. That's totally fine to me. And almost always it's going to be a situation of a portrait photo getting put into a landscape pocket, and I'm okay with that. If you are the kind of person who always takes the same orientation of pictures, then it's probably easier for you to kind of plan. You can find the pocket that, like the page protector pocket style, that works for the type of pictures that you take, and you just roll with it. But when you're on a trip like this, you're not really thinking about that. I mean, as scrapbookers, we probably think about it a little bit more than the average person, but if my kids are being cute, I'm not going to go, oh, geez, which way do I need to hold my camera to take the right photo? If it was just a regular Tuesday and I had nothing else to do, maybe I would consider those things. But, on week 7 of a 7-week-long trip where you've been living in hotels and you've been eating junk food, you're probably not thinking about those kinds of stuff. You're just capturing the moments. So I say roll with it. But again, if that bothers you, I would plan to try to train yourself for these trips to take all your pictures in just one orientation. And then that way you can, figure it out. So if you want to do all landscape and then you'll have your 4x3s going through the center, just make sure that all the important photos, the ones that you want to have a full 4x6 of, take those all in landscape. All the other little small moments that you capture, take those in portrait, and you're good to go. I didn't pay attention to it, and I'm okay with my pictures being turned on their sides. So I do like to explain that. It's definitely personal preference, but I think also if you've been doing this as long as I have, I think you tend to become more flexible when you just need to have something put into a pocket and done with. So there's a little bit of that going on too. So what I decided to do is after my flip through, I went back, I flipped to the first empty 12 by 12 page where I had photos in the page and they needed to be done, and it was these two pictures that I pulled out. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and quickly create a layout using this particular day's 30 days of sketches sketch. So this was day 26. So I'll leave all the information for that down below in the description box. I didn't pick the day that this was going to be posted because I had a feeling there was a chance this could have been posted in April, so it didn't really matter. So I just picked the sketch for the day that I created it. And then I went through my travel stash. This is just all the stuff that I like to keep in a little kit that I have with all my travel, ephemera, collections, papers, small papers, little things that I collect, even from other collections. If it has something to do with travel, I'll often throw it in here. So this is a giant transformer outside of the boardwalk in Cavendish. So I went with primary colors because I felt like that feels very transformerish with them all being in primary colors. And I just grabbed a few things that I thought I don't use that often. So it's frames, and then I pulled out some labels and tags and stuff from 49 and Market, and quickly threw this together using the sketch. And that is it. That is my layout, which I love. I think this turned out so fun. And you also got a little flip through with it. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please check out the links down below for Hollie, Lynda, and Mel as well to see what's inspiring them today. And until next time, happy scrapping. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.